if I didn't introduce myself or meet you out there, my name is Jamie Pendergast. I'm Director of Athletics at Life University. I've been at Life University for, I think this is my 8th year, my 6th year as Athletic Director. And it's been so fun for me to get to know our student athletes of the past and to build up our athletic department now to make our alumni proud. As you can see, our banners, we have grown immensely. We currently have 23 sports and 600 student athletes. In case you didn't know, 600 student athletes, that makes us the largest athletic department in Metro Atlanta. It makes us bigger than Kennesaw State, Georgia Tech, Georgia State in terms of student athlete population. And really what we're about is providing our student athletes a well-rounded, meaningful experience. But obviously we want to win championships. We know that that's what makes the student athlete experience important. We want to see them grow as athletes, as people, as students. We want them to get their Life University degree and go on and do wonderful things in the community like you all. So if you haven't made it back to an event on campus since you've been away, please do. Tomorrow we have so many events. We have women's basketball, we have men's basketball, we have men's rugby, we have men's volleyball. If you're sticking around till Sunday, we have women's lacrosse. We're all over the place right now. So hopefully you can catch an event and cheer on our student athletes of today. But as I mentioned, we started the Hall of Fame back in, it's the second annual, but we started back in, let's see, was it 2019 because it was held in the fall. And really we did this to help bridge that gap. We have so many wonderful accomplishments, individual national champions, NAIA Players of the Year, All-Americans, team national championships. We counted this up, and this is a banner that sits in the front of our department. We're extremely proud of the accomplishments of all of our Life University student athletes, and our current student athletes continue to add to the totals that you all started. So tonight's program, what we're going to do is I'm going to introduce the presenters. They're going to come up and honor our inductees. We'd love the inductees to come up afterwards, do their acceptance speech, think who they'd like, tell the stories that they want. That's the most fun part of this, is hearing the stories and reminiscing. And then what we'll do tomorrow at halftime, I have the plaques up here, but we'll give out the plaques for you all to take home tomorrow after the halftime celebration of the basketball game. So to get started, Coach Kaiser, we're going to ask for you to start and introduce Billy Lewis. Billy's not present, but if you could talk about him, and then we have a video from Billy when you're done. So Coach Kaiser, please.
Does anybody remember Billy Lewis?
Oh, yeah.
Billy Lewis. I talked to him, I called him. He's out in Oklahoma. He's very happily married. Said no children. And he's working with special ed. And he said, I don't want to miss it, Coach, but he said, these young people depend on me. He said, I go to 11 different schools. That's probably the Billy Lewis I remember. That's the one I remember. I can't remember how we found out that he wanted to leave the school where he was. I couldn't even tell you where he was. But he said, I said, I need to ask you a question. I said, why would you leave that school? He said, because they weren't truthful with me. I didn't want anyone, I didn't ask any more questions. He said, here's a guy that's not happy at his school. He came from right here in town, Wheeler. Came from Wheeler. Wheeler was a big basketball school there. Folks, it hasn't changed. they're still a good basketball school. Billy Lewis, you know, I can tell you what a great person he is. Have you looked at what he accomplished? You looked at all that? I was more interested in getting him to leave and a guy from Wheeler to come to Life University. Because Wheeler is the powerhouse in the schools in Cobb County. I was trying to get him to do that, and so I said, I'd like to come in. He said, I want you to come and meet my parents and my brother. Well, the worst thing about that, I didn't know it was his brother, but I'd already met his brother. His brother was at West Georgia College and left very unhappy. Guess who he was not happy with? The coach. I said, so I went in, I didn't have any idea that was Billy's brother. And so I met his mother and his father, both very nice, very just great. And then he said, well, I want you to meet my brother. Well, his brother came out of that room. He looked at me, and guess what? He didn't say anything back. Didn't say much of anything. But he kind of said, he found to turn around and said, it wasn't your fault I left West Georgia. He said, it was my fault. How many of you wanted to transfer? How many of you wanted to transfer? And nowadays you can do that. You can transfer. Just transfer and go to the other school you want to and play. You can also take money. You get paid for a likeness. You guys are missing it. Hey, tell you what, you guys have got a lot of people don't have the memories they don't have. That's one of the things Billy said I said, we're so proud that you would come to our school, because the locals do it. Who else was local here? Anybody else lived in Georgia that, well, you call Savannah local? All right, where are you from?
Hartwell.
Hartwell, that's local. Another Hartwell. Gaynor, you know where you're from? we say, I'm talking about Billy Lewis, but Gaynor, there's a whole story with Gaynor. But Billy Lewis would be the one, that you would say, okay, take the ball, Billy, make something happen. Now, he could shoot it, he could dribble it, he could pass it, and he would pass it. He told me one day, when we're playing out in the tournament, and he said, Coach, he said, I need to talk to you. It was halftime, I need to talk to you. I said, okay. He said, I'm tired. I said, you're tired? I said, all you've been doing is shooting. You know, no basketball player gets tired of shooting. I said, you're the hottest hand right now. That is not an excuse. I said, you should be, it's a pleasure for to give you an open arms that say, keep shooting till you miss. Billy was the kind of person that you would want, if you were a coach. Any of you guys try coaching? I'm sorry. I'm sorry I did that to you. I'm sorry I did that to you. But anyway, so we were very pleased with Billy, and Billy was very pleased with us. I didn't know he was going to go to Oklahoma and stay, though. You know, that's where we had some success playing. He went to Oklahoma State, and he wanted me to be sure and tell all of his teammates hello. And I don't know if any of you talked to him or not. Who was that? The Harris guy? But he was the kind of person anybody would want. He's and look, I showed you this. That's one of the reasons he's going to the Hall of Fame. I guarantee you that. He's also had a unique honor, the 75th All-Star, or whatever you want to call it, the 75th anniversary what they do, they take 60 players, and I don't know if you're aware of that, but they take 60 players and 15 coaches to make their 75. Life University had 3 people. 4. No, one of them didn't go to Life. One of them went to West Georgia.
Oh, excuse me.
You stand corrected, ma'am. That makes my night. Basically, she was wrong.
And it's on video.
It's on video, and I need a copy of it. No, I tell you what, I've already messed up. First thing I'm supposed to do when I get up here is introduce my wife. She's sitting back there. You got all the answers. You know, we have been married for 61, 62 years. So you figure I didn't make a mistake, did I? I didn't make a mistake. When we're talking about Billy was part of us. We had a lot of fun with Billy. And he just, after we probably won't get to see him again. He's that busy. You know, we have a special needs granddaughter. And we told Billy that, and of course he was interested in that. And I said, well, we're not coming to Oklahoma. Let's see, what else would I say about Billy? I see, you know, I say what, it's a shame that Chip Kaiser can't be here. Our son, he could tell me everything about every one of you guys. He remembers all of you. He remembers the teams. And I asked him, I said, well, what do you think of Billy? He said, great player. You know how he ended? A better person. And that's what we all should want to be. Fine players, great players, but better people. And I know you're doing that now, and I know you'll keep doing it. Thank you.
I'm going to play
I didn't tell you the players.
I'd like to congratulate all the other inductees into the Life University Hall of Fame. It's all well deserved. And thank you for such an incredible honor. I'm proud to be a member of the Life University Hall of Fame. And thanks to all of my teammates that I've had over my entire career, to my coaches, Coach Roger Kaiser, John Barrett, Bill Fernbach, Chip Kaiser, also to the team doctors, the guys that kept me on the floor, Dr. Brubaker, Dr. Downs, strength and conditioning coach, Don Chiappetta. You're all considered part of my family. I really appreciate all that you've done. And you guys are family. I mean, we went to battle for 4 years, and I always remember that. I wish my parents were still alive to participate in this. They were such big fans of the university, and they continued to watch the games even after my career was over, and they would be definitely proud and honored to be a part of this. I remember fondly my mom and dad traveling to all the away games all over the country. They would try and make it to those games, so I miss them and wish they were able to be here. To my beautiful wife, who unfortunately never got to see me play when I was younger, but who was very patient and kind and loving and watched all of my games via VCR tape. Thanks to my dad, she sat through and watched all of those old tapes, so I appreciate her and her support. Sorry I could not be there. The pandemic is just still roaring on, and with my current capacity, I work with a high needs, a vulnerable population within the school district, so it was best if I didn't travel and potentially expose myself and the rest of you with COVID-19. So the university's just been a big part of my life. Created some great memories and some great opportunities. We were able to go to the national tournament. All 4 years I was playing there. We had a nationally televised game on ESPN, and who would have ever thought that Tiny Life University would be on national TV after just a few years of existence. I got to live in Europe and play in Germany for a year. I got to try out for the Atlanta Hawks. Just plenty of opportunities were afforded to me from being a part of Life University. And it was all made possible through the efforts of my teammates, as well as the doctors and all the people that supported us. Even my career in education that I have right now, Life University has afforded me the opportunity of being able to take care of my family and support the students in the Tulsa metropolitan area. So I'm grateful to be a former athlete, a former student, and most importantly, a former graduate of the university. It's just been a blessing to have that in my past and to continue to support me in the future. So thank you again to everyone. Congratulations to all the inductees. I look forward to a time when COVID's not around and I can give you all a big hug face to face and greet you all in person. So until then, stay safe. Love you guys, and thank you so much for the honor.
Okay. All right, thank you, Billy. We're streaming this, and so hopefully you'll feel the appreciation from wherever you're sitting. Our next inductee, I'll invite Coach Graham Tutt up to the podium to introduce our next. Thanks.
Thank you. Hold your applause, please. I didn't bring my wife because I didn't want to be corrected. We've been all right, Roger. I love my 10 years at Life University. We had super program, super people. Dr. Downs, where are you, Dr. Downs? We had such a class group of people, and it was such a wonderful experience, especially dealing with Dr. Sid. You never knew what was coming around the corner. In fact, the first time I met Roger, he didn't know I was hired by Dr. Sid. I had an appointment on a Wednesday at 10 o'clock. I was just telling the lads. 10 o'clock was my appointment, and Dr. Sid, very punctual chap, 6 o'clock that night, his secretary came out and said, can you come back tomorrow? I heard they kept the Mayor of Atlanta waiting 2 hours, so I thought, well, he's a little bit more important than me. So I went back the next day on the Thursday. I was there at 10 o'clock, and I was 6 o'clock. His secretary, Jean, came out. Said, can you come back tomorrow? Sure, it's the third day. I've got my parking spot there now. I've read all I could read about chiropractic and Life University and the Dr. Sid Wall. And so it was a Friday, and it was a week before Christmas. And not to make you cry, but my wife was on our second child, and she was 8 months pregnant with our second child, and we had Billy. So I really wanted this job, and it was approaching 6:15 on the Friday. I'd been waiting 27 and a half hours. I think I've got the record.
But who's counting?
And the greatest thing about that was when Dr. Sid came out, he said, congratulations, Coach. See Coach Kaiser on Monday and report to him. So on that Monday, I reported to Coach Kaiser. And he said, who are you? And that was my introduction to life. In fact, I was going to go for 9 scholarships, Roger. And I was so pissed off I went for 18. And I got 18 scholarships. So and from there on, he would always come and see, he would let me in to see him. But the reason I wanted to tell you all of that not as only a special program that Dr. Sid helped launch. It's just the special people that were involved. We had a tremendous amount of Costa Rican players come over, about 5, 6 Costa Ricans. That was because my assistant was the under-20 national team coach for Costa Rica. That was a good contact. He brought some wonderful players. Pablo Nazar. I've got to tell you about Pablo for the simple reason, only because he's in the Hall of Fame. He is my favourite player, without a doubt. I love Pablo. And a small example of this is when my son Billy was 7 years old. He's 29 now. And I spoke to Billy this afternoon and said, we're honouring Pablo Nazar, Hall of Fame. And he said, I remember Pablo, he was my favourite player. And that's when he was 7 years old. He remembered you, Pablo. He said, I loved him as a coach and I loved him as a player. This is a 7-year-old talking to me, but now at 29. So that says so much for Pablo. He had time. Roger talks about athletes. You want an athlete to go to school. You want an athlete to have good grades. You want an athlete to have a good representation of the school. Pablo is the full package. Everybody loved Pablo. He never missed practice. He never missed a game. And he was the NAIA Player of the Year. And he was All-American 3 years in a row. We were so proud to have Pablo Nazar. He went on to play professionally 10 years for Alajuela. Probably butchered that name. In Costa Rica. And the standard of soccer in Costa Rica is pretty good. And also, he also played for Charleston Battery. The Silverbacks couldn't afford him, the Atlanta Silverbacks, but that was understandable. Pablo then played in Austria as well, and now he's coaching. He's been involved with the national youth teams, under 17, under 15, female and male soccer teams. So Pablo is ingrained in soccer. He said I gave him his first job as a coach. I'm sorry, Pablo. Because coaching kids come, 5, 6, 7 hours out on the field at 90 degrees. You've got to have a tremendous amount of patience. And Pablo had showed his patience time and time again and was our top coach. So not bad for your first job, Pablo. I'm so happy to see him again. He means the world to me and to my family. Say my boys, they loved you as well. And when you get a player, an athlete, make that impression on your family, that's special. Pablo is very special, and he deserves more and more and more success to come, no doubt. Pablo Nazar. I'm going to be his interpreter.
Great.
No.
Yeah, good. So I was going to get a picture of you in public.
Right. And he was on the Dean's list every year. So that's what I admire about him as well. But you talk about characters, this is what we strive for as coaches.
Good evening. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I hope you may understand what I'm going to say because I haven't spoken English for a while now. But it's an honor for me to be here. I appreciate this opportunity. It's a great event, and the thing you were saying before, that getting in touch from the present with the past, I think is really important. And I was talking with an actual coach, and I think we left, or at least we start something very special here at Life with the soccer program, and seeing that it keeps going and going, and every time it's better and better. I think I'm really proud of that. I think I put a little brick in that wall, and I guess it's gonna have more success with the next years. I'm really honored. I want to thank Coach Todd because he brought me here without knowing me. He didn't even see, I think, a video of me and gave me the opportunity. And I always try to do my best, not only in the soccer field, but also in the classroom. And I think I'm very proud of that too. And I want to thank the school because even after I play professional soccer, the best time for me, the best soccer I live, and the best time I enjoy in my life was here at Life University. And for me, that's priceless. And hopefully, I'm going to see more success for the soccer program. I wish you the best, Coach. And it's nice to see people that maybe in the past I didn't talk to the basketball boys, but I knew who they were. I saw the games, and we cheered for you guys. And I remember that year was crazy for us, watching the game on ESPN. So that makes us really proud, and I want to congratulate you guys. And also Billy, that he was a standing player. Being part of that family was really important for me, and it's because I think I am in the Life University family for the rest of my life. I want to thank my family. I flew from Costa Rica yesterday to be in this event, and for me it's a great opportunity, and I want to thank you very much for giving me this award, and I hope I can keep in touch with all the people, and I remember everyone that helped us in that days. And also I want to thank you, the coaching staff, not only Coach Todd, but also Doug McMillan and Bj Hartman, that was the man that helped me to come here. I want to thank them and thank everyone here, and God bless you. Thank you.
Congrats, Pablo. All right, and for tonight's last inductee, I'll invite Dr. Hartman up to the podium.
Pablo, you did great. Your English was fine. Probably better than mine. I don't know, I put stuff down on paper today, and I see people giving speeches, looking on their phones. I've got bifocals and I can't see anything on the phone, so I'm old school. And I wrote it, and for Bev and Roger and John, Dr. Downs, it's in 20-point font, so I'm sure I can see it. So, and even then, even as everybody else was talking, I was writing a few notes. Graham, I'm sure Dr. Sid said to you, boy, okay? I forgot about that. For those of you who never met Dr. Sid, he was a product of his environment. Every sentence started with or finished with the word boy, no matter who you were, okay? Dr. Riekman, who's our Chancellor Emeritus, refers to Life University as the little university that could. Okay? Nobody ever gave us any chances of winning any kind of national championships, and we got 30 national championships, which really makes a statement about the commitment of the university to its athletic department. So, the printed stuff. I have to admit, I was a little surprised when I heard from Jamie, and I was just completely honored to receive the email to speak tonight. For those of you that know me, my name is Dr. Bj Hartman. I graduated from what was known as Life Chiropractic College in 1978. One program, one building. The entire school was in the Harris Center. For those of you who remember where Dr. Sid's office was, I used to get called there on a regular basis for both good and bad. That was the whole school. There was a strip of offices in the student advocacy building where some other offices were, as well as the library. When we all went to school, it was a library. Now it's a media center. 3 weeks into my first quarter, my fiance at the time, my wife Jackie, came up here.
You never asked.
How'd it work out?
44 years later.
We're not quite 62 yet, Coach and Beth. We're not far behind, we're at 43 and still counting. But 3 weeks into my first quarter at Life Chiropractic College, she came up here for a visit, and I stalled her all day long because I wanted to show you all see how dark it is outside at about 6 o'clock at night in January. So I brought her the first time at about 6:30 at night to see the school, and immortal words, she said, "This isn't a school, it's a blanking warehouse."
Oh, you didn't say
And
it.
I mentioned that to Dr. Sid, and he used that for years and years and years. I'll tell you what the blanking was at the bar afterwards, if you're interested. But after I left, I practiced in Florida for a lot of years, moved back here in 1991 so I could start teaching, and the athletic program had just started. And when Dr. Sid went out to Carrollton to try to recruit Coach Kaiser, Dr. Sid told us numerous times in his first meeting with Coach Kaiser, Coach asked, "Where's that gym?" There was no gym. Walked across the street, pointed to where the gym was going to be, and said, "That's where your gym is going to be." Am I correct in that one? There was no gym. Dr. Sid said, "We're going to have a gym." Well, Coach Kaiser was a little underwhelmed and quite skeptical. But Coach Sid kept his promise, gave him all the support he needed. As Coach Kaiser was also the AD, he didn't have to answer to anyone but Dr. Sid. That was both good and bad, as I'm sure you'll attest to. However, both of them had Georgia Tech as their common interest. They both graduated from Georgia Tech, and if anyone was around here in those days, Dr. Sid liked to surround himself with Georgia Tech graduates and alums, so that gained you instant credibility, okay? Along with Coach Kaiser, brought along Coach Fernback, who's here tonight, Coach Barrett. John, I hope you're watching tonight, as well as Chip Kaiser. They got all the support they needed, brought home 3 national championships. It was a really great place to be. I remember the first year we got to the semifinals. I still got the t-shirt. Remember that, Coach? Good job. You know, this one down, I thought this one had a smudge on it. I think it does. I think I got a clean one in my closet. Jamie, if you'd like it, I'll be glad to give it to you. But I remember that first year, a bunch of us went to Sidelines, which is now the 420 Grill on Roswell Road, right across from Williamson Brothers. Coach, I think you spent more than a few lunches there, both of you guys. Williamson Brothers, ring a bell. Well, after we upset Oklahoma Baptist that night in 1994, myself and 2 other faculty, Dr. Dexter Beck, Dr. Jack Boyles, we said, we're going. We piled into a car on Sunday morning. My wife took us over to one of the rental car places near South Marietta Parkway in the square. We drove about 13 hours straight out to Tulsa, walked into the hotel at about 8:30 at night. Dr. Sid said, "When did you boys get here?" I said, "Right now. We want to see the finals." Okay? Despite the loss to Oklahoma City, it was still a great trip, and it served as a good lesson. There was also the time, I think it might have been the 97 team when we played for the title. Coach Barrett told me at one point in time, the NAIA officials pulled him off to the side before the championship game and said, "Coach, be sure to have your players stay on the court for the award presentation." They were already counting the fact that we were going to lose. And that was when Life, I think, won the 97 championship. Okay? I'll bet that official is still scratching his head figuring out how we won. The excitement the next several seasons brought many bus trips. We decided we wanted to go on the road. We were a bunch of road warriors. We didn't know if we were going to drive or what. Dr. Bob Raylan, who was a devout supporter of the program, classmate of mine in the DC program, said, "Why don't we rent a bus?" So we would get a 50-seat, something like Greyhound bus for about 20, 30 bucks a head. They would drive us down. They would drive it back. We went to such exotic locations as Talladega College, Georgia Southwestern, University of Auburn, Montgomery, and some other great destinations. But we were determined to show our support for the program. Many of us saved our personal time to travel to Tulsa. I would go out there for the whole week. And I was not a basketball junkie until I spent a week in Tulsa watching games every 2 hours. And my wife, Jackie, the most understanding human being on the planet, our wedding anniversary is November 17th, usually about the first or second week of basketball season. Her birthday is November 28th, about the third or the fourth week of basketball season. We would spend birthdays and anniversaries at basketball games. I think after 43 years, she's finally forgiven me. And then afterwards, where would we go? Shoney's with Dr. Sid and the entourage, okay? And Dr. Sid would talk it down. Then I don't recall the year, it might have been around 97, 98. Those of you who there remember, when Georgetown, Kentucky came in, they were undefeated, they were ranked #1. And we sent out the message to pack the gym. The gym got so crowded, the fire marshals closed the place. There were people standing on the top rows of the bleachers. They were at both ends of the gym, and people just standing outside, and we handed Georgetown their only defeat that year. There were some great moments. That was an evening to remember. It was a great time to be a fan of life. The support from the top down, from the fans, from the faculty, the staff. There were DC dancers, there were cheerleaders. It really was the place to be. And the first national championship team came from the 1997 team. If you're here, please stand up. I wish I remembered everybody. Tony Sanders, I don't think is here. Demetrius Palmer, please stand up. Okay? I remember we only had Don Smiley for 1 year. I think he was recruited from Georgia State, point guard. I remember Don Smiley. Patrick Lewis, not Patrick. Thank you. Jeff Wright, I saw your name badge out there, Jeff. Thank you. Tyrone, I know Coach was recognizing you, so you must have been memorable. I know everybody knows. Don Johnson, not here. Vereen, and I remember pronouncing the name correct, Vereen Harris. Anthony and Mike, both. I still remember you guys. I still remember McConnell. Okay? Anthony Maxwell. James Harris. Wayne Mann. Nope. Curtis Carrington. Derek Folston. And I think I got everybody. The names on here were Coach Kaiser, Coach Barrett, who's no longer with us, Coach Fernback, who's here, Chip Kaiser, as well as Dr. DeLoss Brubaker, who's the athletic trainer, and Dr. Downs, who's been here. It was a wonderful time, and I remember standing on the court in Tulsa with Dr. Sid. I got a picture of it in my office on campus, because I came back to teach about 6 years ago. It was just an absolutely wonderful time, and the championships that started in 97, 99, and 2000, the banners hang in the gym. If you get a chance to take a look at them, please do. It was just a wonderful time. I'm so glad everybody's here. Jamie, thank you again for the honor. It was truly a pleasure. My wife and I were glad to be a part of the family. We're still part of the family. As long as I have breath, I'm a life alum. We're all part of the family. Thank you all. I appreciate it. And wherever you're traveling to, safe travels, be safe, and stay well. Thank you.
All right, what I'd like to do is bring the team and coaches, Dr. Downs, up for a picture, and then Max, I know that you wanted to say some words, and Coach Kaiser, if you'd like to as well. But if we can come up and get a picture of the team, I really appreciate it. Right there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Of course.
My kids don't have the time to get it given away. No, there is a stack. He's not allowed.
Oh,
Hold that pose, please. I was talking. Watch the wires. Back up a little bit. Handsome crowd up there. I stood over there and move behind Dr. Downs, please.
Do what?
Move behind you because I can't get you in. Now, if you can't
Oh,
see me,
perfect. Yeah.
if you can't see me, I can't see you. But I know you can see me, so here we go. Thank you.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Hey, well, first of all, I want to say I didn't want to say anything. That's to say something.
That's what happens when you don't want to have in my cell phone.
I want to humbly accept this honor on behalf of this team, these awesome guys standing with me here. You know what I'm saying? It's a once in a lifetime honor that will forever acknowledge and celebrate the greatness of the 1997 National Championship Running Eagle team. I remember when I got here in '96, and all I was hearing was like, "Oh, you're here to replace Billy Lewis." Billy had finished the year before, so you're replacing Billy Lewis. So and so replacing Billy Lewis, and I'm like, "Who is this Billy Lewis?" But anyway, Billy's an all-time leading scorer, and played there 4 years, and numbers still stand. But I can say, like, this was the most talent that I've ever played with. Like, and a lot of people was like, a lot of us came from different situations, and I remember people saying like, how's all that talent going to mesh? How it's going to be enough balls to go around or whatever. But it was a totally unselfish team. Had some growing pains. It took a little time to get to know each other, get comfortable. But it was like, it was a defensive-minded team. Like we just had a refuse to lose attitude. And just totally unselfish. But it's funny, like Billy talking about the VHS tapes. Like my son, I had the VHS tapes too. Confirm I did put them on DVD for him. But like my son was like, he's 15 now, but like, from 5 to whenever, he just watched those tapes religiously, And I'm always like, so who's your favorite player? Who's your favorite player? I'm looking for him to say Daddy. It's always Patrick Lewis. See, Corey Evans is here. Even Corey. Like, I think I was about 5th on his list. But it was a really entertaining team. It was really, it was a great experience. We're taking up a little bit more space than we used to. But yeah, it's like, but I do want to, I want to acknowledge, Pablo, like, congratulations to you, congratulations to Billy. I really, this really means a lot, like Billy was saying, like a lot of people couldn't, see what we did, but it will forever be, memorialized. And I want to thank Jamie, for doing this. Dr. Sid, who's no longer with us. Coach Barrett, who signed me, is no longer with us. Dr. Brubeck is no longer with us. And I do want to take this time, get a little emotional. But like, we're missing, it's a few guys not here with us, but we're missing the little general, Don Smiley, who was our starting point guard, passed last year. But his mom is here today. With all the talent, like Smiley, he was the smallest, and a little baby face, but he was the ringleader. Like he was the general that made everything go. And, you know what I'm saying, like he'll always be with me. And I was, matter of fact, like just real quick, tell a little done Smiley. But so trying to be discreet. No, so I was like for the last 5 years.